Future of FinTech in Hong Kong seminars, co-organized by Hong Kong youth-based Financial Service Development Council, CFA Institute, and Hong Kong Society of Financial Analysts. I'm Rico Chan from Hong Kong youth-based. Let me introduce Hong Kong Financial Service Development Council first. Hong Kong government established the Financial Service Development Council in 2013 as a high-level advisory body to encourage the industry in making proposals to promote the future development of Hong Kong financial services and to map out the strategic roadmap for the industry. Financial Service Development Council set up 5 working committees, including Policy Research Committee, Mainland Opportunities Committee, New Business Committee, Market Development Committee, and Human Capital Committee, and all the 5 stream areas as it was. Let me introduce our speaker tonight, Mr. Christoph Lee, founder of JP Asia Partners Limited, Financial Service Development Council New Business Committee member. Thank you. Mr. Lee has more than 26 years of experience in financial services and proven track record in building new business. He's also a senior advisor and director of a private global MedTech company. Mr. Lee has worked as Morgan Stanley, Sun Hung Kai Financial Services, Goldman Sachs, and Bankers Trust. Dr. Au Keng Leung, Chief Executive Officer, Value Partners Group Limited. Dr. Au is also Financial Service Development Council Market Development Committee member. Dr. Au has more than 30 years of experience in financial services and asset management. He was named CEO of the Year in Hong Kong by Asia Asset Management in 2012 and 2014. He was awarded the Medal of Honor by Hong Kong government for his contribution to asset management industry in 2008. Dr. Au has worked as Bank of China Hong Kong Asset Management and HSBC Global Asset Management Hong Kong. Mr. Fraser Lam, Head of Risk Management and MIS Division. Information Technology Department, Bank of China Hong Kong Limited. Mr. Lam has rich experience in risk management and MIS. He's also focused in the areas of FinTech and different strategic projects involved in blockchain, big data, artificial intelligence in recent years. He has been working as a team leader of banking sector consulting firms in China and Hong Kong. Mr. Yannis Barberas, founder of Supercharger. Mr. Barberas is also member of Academic Board, Center for Finance, Technology, and Entrepreneurship. He's also co-authored a number of academic papers in development of FinTech and regulation technology. He sits on the FinTech Advisory Board of Securities and Futures Commission in Hong Kong and is recognized as top 34 global FinTech leader by Institutional Investor magazine. Now, may I invite Professor Ling Liu, Deputy Director, Hong Kong Youth Space, and Head of College of Business and Finance, Hong Kong Youth Space, to give us opening remarks. Professor Liu, please.
Good evening, friends. Thank you for coming and joining us for this event tonight to look into the future of FinTech in Hong Kong. There are so many organizations behind this event and so many speakers, so I got to have the note, otherwise I may not be able to speak all the speakers' names properly and also organizations. Mr. Lee, Dr. O, Mr. Lam, and Mr. Barberas, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to be with you at the Practitioner Speaker Series in FinTech, co-organized by Hong Kong Youth Space, Hong Kong Financial Service Development Council, CFA Institute, and Hong Kong Society of Financial Analysts this evening, I extend my sincere appreciation of support from our partner again. Collaboration between financial technology and the financial institutions has become increasingly popular. Financial technology innovation provides new way for changing banking and finance environment. No doubt, FinTech is playing a central role. It is reported that about US 77 billion of venture capital investment invested in Chinese firms from 2014 to 2016 in areas of technology. Last year, China led the world in financial technology investments and is closing on America. For example, the volume of mobile payments in China increased about 4 times last year to US 8.6 trillion, compared with US 112 billion in America. Now, China is home to many of the world's most valuable financial technology companies. According to the report by economists, Ant Financial under Alibaba is estimated to be worth more than US 60 billion. So I'm very pleased that our panel speaker today, Ms. Christopher Lee, Dr. O, and Mr. Fraser Lam, Mr. Fabrice, will share their views on recent development in FinTech, outlook and the prospect of this field for young finance professionals in Hong Kong. Please allow me to congratulate Hong Kong Space for developing a series of professional seminars for finance executives. Last but not least, I would like to take this opportunity to thank again all of our distinguished guests, speakers tonight to share their insights in FinTech. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Liu. Now, may I invite Ms. Mary Leung, Head of Standards and Advocacy, CFA Institute, to say a few words. Ms. Leung, please.
A very warm welcome to you all. A question for you. Do you remember your first FinTech moment? The moment when a piece of technology helped complete a banking transaction for you that left you feeling, wow, that was amazing. Can I have some more? I remember mine. It actually happened quite a while ago. Decades, in fact. Yes, decades. I remember as a little girl, my mother taking me to an ATM machine to take cash out. And it was one of the first few ATM machines in Hong Kong. It was carved on the wall. And I remember being fascinated as that perspex screen slowly retracting into the wall. And in went the bank card. After a few numbers, cash was dispensed without any human interaction. And in my small mind, that was magic. And I remember wanting nothing more than to stand there all day, watching this fascinating machine, willing it to spit out more cash, ideally into my greasy little fingers. That didn't happen. And that was my first interaction with FinTech. Now, fast forward several decades, we have gone from ATMs to e-banking, and now to some really cutting-edge innovations, like blockchain, like cryptocurrencies, like robo-advisory. And these innovations are having a huge impact on the financial services industry. And the change is as relentless as it is exciting. There's a wealth of opportunities and challenges, both in the way businesses and banking and regulation are done. So what does it mean for all of us, for those of us who are working currently in the industry, and firms that are employing us? What does it mean for Hong Kong as an international financial center? And how can we, individually and collectively, secure our future so that we maximize our position and embrace all these exciting opportunities? Well, the answer tonight will lie with all our distinguished speakers. Our lineup tonight is stellar. We have FinTech entrepreneur and innovator who's set to change the world, incumbents who are proactively responding to these challenges and disruptions, and their unique insights and perspectives are going to really help us navigate through this maze that's FinTech and help us position ourselves for this new, brave new world. As a member organization, the CFA Institute takes engagement with our members and stakeholders very seriously, and we'd like to engage with them on key relevant topics, such as FinTech. Earlier this year, we launched a brand new platform, the Asia Pacific Research Exchange, or ARX for short. On ARX, there is a FinTech page. We have been able to bring together market practitioners and industry experts together so that we can learn and share from each other. On our FinTech page, there are reports from FSDC and other distinguished writers such as ACCA. You'll also find this report, which is our latest edition on FinTech and RegTech, which Janos co-wrote. I encourage you all to take a look. ARX is free and open to you all. Thank you again for coming, and I look forward to engaging with you, both online and offline. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lam. Now, may I invite Professor Liu to present our souvenirs to our speaker tonight. And Mr. Lee, please. And Dr. Ao, please. And Mr. Lam. And Mr. Papanis. And Ms. Lam. Professor Lam, please stay, and may I now invite all our speakers tonight to have a group photo. Thank you, Professor Liu. So now may I invite all our speakers tonight to come to the stage.
Good evening. How are you? So, Dr. Chen, Professor Liu, Mary, thank you for the introduction and remarks. It really is our honor to be here tonight with all of you. And I think with this turnout, clearly FinTech is a very hot topic. And I think the next hour would be very rewarding for you because we have three great speakers here, King, Fraser, and Janos, to share their insights with us. Now, before we start, just briefly allow me to introduce the FSDC paper, The Future of FinTech in Hong Kong, which was published in May. I led the working group, King was involved, and many other experts. And this is a very informative report. It's not just a policy recommendation paper. It was meant to provide a lot of background information for people who are new to FinTech. So, I welcome you to download this from our website. It's free. So I'm not going to go into the policy recommendation, but I'll briefly mention something that's relevant to our discussion tonight. It comes to no surprise to you that Hong Kong, as a leading world financial center, already has great potential for FinTech. But we in the paper has identified B2B as the area with greatest potential, and in particular we highlighted 5 specific areas. Number 1 is cybersecurity. Number 2 is payments and security settlement. Number 3 is digital ID and KYC utility. Number 4 is wealth tech, insurtech. And number 5 is regtech. So we're going to touch on these topics tonight. And these are topics, these are areas highlighted in our paper as something where Hong Kong has a competitive edge. And we'll go back to that. I'll also mention that at the same time as when we published the FinTech paper, we also published a paper on blockchain, or DLT. Astri, I must give a shout out to Astri. Astri also has a great paper on blockchain DLT. So if you're looking for information, all this is free. Go on the FSDC website, and also the Astri report is downloadable. So before we start, let me just let's get a feel for who you are. So those of you who are in the financial institutions working now, put your hand up. Okay, so roughly half. How many work in a bank? Hands up. Oh, only 3 or 4. How many in brokers or wealth managers? Hands up. Okay. How many in fund management? Okay. And how many are in sort of FinTech roles, either within an FI or outside currently, broadly defined? How many FinTech people in the room? Okay, 1. That's great. So, so our goal tonight is really to keep the discussion very relevant to you. We want you to leave this hall feeling that you've taken home something useful. We also want to focus on what's happening on the ground. From asset managers and banks, we'll talk about startups. We'll talk about how FIs interact with startups. We'll touch on regulation and future trends. And so for those of you who are already in the business, I think what we want you to take away is how FinTechs may shape the role you're in already, how you could equip yourself to take advantage of these opportunities, and also to think about the challenges. If you're more adventurous, with Janos and us diving into startup space, there's plenty in that for you also. So the timeline is, I think we're going to be speaking for the next hour or so, and then there's Q&A. If you have a burning question, not a huge room, put your hand up and shout out your question. I think we're happy to take that. And then we'll finish, I think, at 8:30 after Q&A. So with that, I'm going to start with King. Value Partners is the largest homegrown asset manager listed on the stock exchange. So I think King has prepared a PowerPoint to share his experience on the application of technology, such as big data and AI. So may I invite King to kickstart our panel discussion?
Thank you, Christophe. I realize there's only one fund manager in the audience, so I'll keep my presentation brief, but I hope you'll find our experience of interest. So we have actually been applying technology to investment. When I say technology, we mean big data and AI. In fact, AI is outdated already. The latest term is statistical learning. So I just learned that from a professor recently. So how does technology impact asset management? I won't go through all the key points because I think it's more important to share our experience. So rather than going through the theory. But before I talk about big data application, I need to set some pointers here. Why is big data useful? Because they can provide us with a full picture of what actually happens. And you have a more reliable sample. And I'll try to illustrate all this with a couple of examples. And it's definitely much faster than consensus data. Because you're actually going into the root of the data, or root of the information source. And in a way, because you have a large amount of data, you can actually come up with a lot of simulations and analysis, especially on risk management. So when you look at applying big data, there are actually four different sets four different opportunity sets, I should say. It's very different from traditional portfolio approach, because normally as a typical fund manager, you start off with a model portfolio. Their stocks will always buy because they're your favorites. They're undervalued, or they are growth stocks that you like. For whatever reason, you start off with a portfolio. But with big data, it's entirely different. You start off with cash. Because you only invest when you have an actionable idea. And there are at least four broad categories. One is opportunistic. So probably you have to receive a pattern where you think you can take advantage of. So holding period is 1 month. You may have a contrarian idea. Again, it's a very short holding period. If you spot a new trend, then it is more interesting. I'll illustrate again, as I said, with an example. And there are some hidden relationships. It sounds very abstract, so let's skip this as well. Let's go straight to the example. iPhone. When iPhone 7 first came out, a lot of street analysis were quite bearish on Apple, because the enhancement to iPhone 6 was minimal. So, but what we did was to look at the big data set. By big data set, I mean consumer pattern. We managed to build a database covering pre-sales order for iPhone globally, both in developed market and in emerging markets. And then we spotted a very interesting trend. The street consensus was right, but only in developed markets, but not in emerging markets. And we saw actually a big spike of orders coming out of the emerging market. But as a fund manager, we always needed to validate our idea. So what we did was to extend the data back to different generations of iPhone. Now we see a pattern. iPhone 5. When iPhone 5 first came out, there was a similar spike. And then we then tried to explain, try to justify the pattern that we've discovered. So we came to the conclusion that for emerging markets, people had to save for upgrade. For developed markets, we change phone every year. So iPhone 7 wasn't really of much interest to us, but not to those consumers in the emerging market. And when they upgrade, they went for the best. And there was another pattern. Most of the new orders went to was 7+. And so how did we turn that into an actionable idea? Because for compliance reasons, I can't tell you the stocks that we put on this trade. But I can give you some clue. iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus, they were produced by different manufacturers. So we put on a long short trade. For the first 6 months, remember I said there were some opportunity sets, right? A new trend, but also hidden relationship. So for the first few months, both stocks, long short position, behaved almost identically, because people thought, iPhone 7 actually was a surprise, earning surprise to iPhone, to Apple. But 6 months later, we saw a big divergence in performance, and we made a killing. Right. Another example of using big data. This one is simple. We've got perfect sector timing for not just tech stock, but also gaming stocks. One example is